Hello, everyone. My name is Katarina Dunavi. I am very happy to welcome you to today's seminar on early life child development and early life autism science. I'm really happy to be reading that we have parents and colleagues joining from the US, from Canada, Mexico, France, Northern Ireland, England, and I am sure from many, many other places and countries around the world. So my colleague, Dr. Meral Koldas, will present this seminar, and this is based on work we have done not only on how to recognize early life autism signs, but also how to best support parents whenever they face their first concerns, or how to reassure parents and how to coach them on how to best support their child as they develop. And that includes how to create memorable moments, how to create happy and fun activities, but also how to put in place practices that facilitate and support a healthy development. So we will talk about typical development, what it means, what we should expect in the first few months of life, and up to approximately the age of 1.5 years. We will also talk about some potential concerns or some signs that we should be aware of, and that we should closely monitor in our child. And of course, if you're professionals who are supporting families during those very early stages of life, I hope and I trust that today's webinar will be useful for your practice. I would like to say that this seminar was offered in Turkish last month, and it will be offered in Greek very soon. But of course, in English, we know that we are having an audience that is multicultural. And so the information that we are presenting today, feel free to adjust it to suit your own country's health and education system. So we know that babies at the very early stages will be seen by different professionals depending on which country they are based in. And so the information that we provide is a bit more generic, but then it needs to be adjusted to the context where you are. So Meral, I will pass it on to you. At the very end of the session, we will be taking questions. So please use the chat box called questions that you can find at the bottom of your screen to put questions in there. And at the very end, we will respond to as many questions as we can. So Meral?
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Dunavi. And for the beautiful introduction, you summarized most of the things we will touch today. And in this seminar, we will present information on early development and first signs of autism, as Dr. Dunavi mentioned. Now I'm just... Also, I would like to personally say that this is a part of collaborated project, Dr. Donavi, and funded by Queen's University of Belfast. We are holding similar family events in the future, and if you would like to join, you can follow our news on the Center of Behavior Analysis website. Today, our discussion will be described in following sequence. First, we will dive into the world of developing infants, exploring the fundamental principles, expectations for the first 18 months of life. Following that, we will spotlight key developmental milestones within the initial period, taking a closer look how a baby's environment plays a pivotal role in shaping progress towards these milestones. And before discussing how to foster a happy child, we will navigate through how parents can actively support their child's development. In this section, we will speak about common developmental concerns and strategies for identifying potential red flags. Lastly, our presentation will shift to what steps parents can take if they have concerns about child's development. The presentation will last approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes, followed by question and answers. And if you have any question along the way, feel free to drop in the chat. Now, let's start with our first topic, development during infancy. Infancy, the initial phase of human development, plays a pivotal role in shaping children's future. This period, extending from birth to around 2 years old, is time of remarkable growth and repeat brain development. We have three key aspects in this term: repeat growth, brain development, and early experiences. Infants witness exponential growth and physical growth, and babies rapidly gaining weight and length during this process. By the end of first year, infants typically triple their birth weight, underscoring the significance of proper nutrition and care. This stage is also a critical window for brain development, involving significant change and the establishment of billions of new neural connections. The foundation for future learning, cognition, emotional development is laid during infancy. Infancy also marks the beginning of child's interaction with the world and the formation of attachment to caregivers. The quality of early experiences, including responsive caregiving, positive social interactions, and stimulating environments, profoundly influence brain architecture and future development. In infancy, a specific critical period witnessed the shaping of child's development across various domains. Children achieve milestones in playing, learning, speaking, acting, and moving. These significant milestones, like taking initial steps, saying mom and dad at the first time, and waving goodbye, or producing the first ba 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 voices, sounds, serve as a critical indicator for babies' growth and learning. In infancy, remarkable milestones develop across sensory motor development, social emotional development, cognitive development, and communication skills as well. These developments shaping a comprehensive understanding of child's early development. So, in infancy, sensory motor development forms the basis for exploring the world. Milestones like rolling over, sitting up, crawling, pulling up, and walking mark their progress. Activities such as grasping, reaching, crawling, walking refine their motor condition and spatial awareness. Sensory experiences help them recognize and respond to sight, sounds, taste, smells, and touch. Infancy is a time for attachment and emotional growth as well. Babies develop trust in caregivers, express emotions like joy and fear, and start recognizing others' emotions. They begin smiling, making eye contact, and responding to facial expressions and voices. Social skills like imitating actions and showing interest in other children emerge as they grow. Impressive cognitive growth is evident in infants during this stage. Active exploration, curiosity, and problem solving contribute to understanding cause and effect. Cognitive development involves early language acquisition, memory formation, and imitating actions and sounds. Infants gradually develop communication skills, both verbal and nonverbal. They use gestures, sounds, and bubbling for expression and engage in basic interactions. By the end of infancy, most children understand simple words, start speaking single words, and may use basic two words phrases like mommy comes and daddy go, something like this. Prior to exploring developmental milestones, let's briefly talk about autism. Autism spectrum disorder is a lifelong neurodevelopmental condition is characterized by challenge in communication and social interaction and the presence of repetitive behaviors and limited interest. Autism is believed to be caused by a combination of genetics and environmental variables. Currently, 1 in 36 children in the United States and 1 in 57 children in the UK have an autism spectrum disorder diagnosis. Detecting autism early is fundamental for improving the quality of life for those children. However, our ability to detect autism early differs globally, emphasizing the need for parents to closely monitor their child's development in the first 18 months of life. So, why do the initial 18 months matter? Because during this time frame, brain plasticity is at its peak, gradually diminishing with age. Brain plasticity is the brain's ability to repeatedly change to adapt to environmental stimuli. Brain plasticity enables the formation of new neural connection or the strengthening of existing structures. Identifying developmental concern early is pivotal as it allows children to access support during a time when brain plasticity is at its peak, maximizing their potentials. This also empowers parents to receive guidance on how to effectively support their baby and enhancing the likelihood of healthy and joyful life. Recent research underscores that developmental differences in babies can be recognized even before the first birthday, and it is often parents the ones who first express a concern. Now let's look at the developmental milestones of babies age 0 to 18 months. In 2 months, they often calm down when you hug or talk to them. In close proximity, facing your baby, they gaze at your face and eyes. Their joy is evident when they see you, making funny faces or talking prompts delightful smiles from your baby. And during tummy time, they demonstrate the ability to hold their heads up. Through this seminar, we will share a few videos showing how babies respond at certain ages. These have been created by the US Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and more can be found on the CDC website. So let's watch this video. In the video, the child hears a sound and turns towards the source. They demonstrate a response to sound within 2 months. Let's check out what babies typically achieve in their first 4 months. Babies often begin vocalizing sounds like or ba during the first 4 months. They achieve the milestones of holding their head steadily without support when held. Demonstrating responsiveness, baby turn their heads towards stimuli, such as someone entering the room, whether lying on the floor or sitting on someone's knee. Their growing interest in toys is apparent as they willingly to take and briefly hold them when offered.
No way. You did all of that today? What are they getting?
In the first 4 months, babies typically begin to show several responses when spoken to. This may include smiling, making sounds, or listening attentively, as demonstrated in this video. He is like slowly taking turns. So let's explore the development of a 6-month-old baby. They express joy through laughter and recognize a familiar face. They smile and show happiness, like when mommy returns from work, daddy enters the room, or granny arrives, and engaging in what seems like a conversation. They respond to your sound, including vowels and initial croissants like p or and when you talk to them, they can produce those sounds, and they actively reach or grasp objects of interest such as ball or teddy bear, and when placed to the floor, they demonstrate the ability to roll from tummy to back. Using their strength, they pull their body up with straight arms while on their tummy, and they can sit upright with support.
Oh gosh. Did you see who that was? Well, yeah. Did you say ba? Ba?
In this video, observe how a 6-month-old baby takes turn in communication, responding by making sounds in their own turn. This behavior demonstrates the initial development of their communication skills. At 9 months, they respond to their name by looking at you when called. They express distress when you leave the room. They exhibit enjoyment during play, smiling or laughing. They point at things using their index finger. Spontaneously, they produce various sounds like da 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 da, ba 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 ba, or mama mama, and respond to your sounds by vocalizing. They can sit without the need for support. In this video, observe how a baby at 9 months is able to respond to their names. This is another video. At 9 months, a baby can sit without support and demonstrate the ability to make sounds by hitting two objects together, deriving enjoyments from the activity. In their 12 months, they respond to no. They can say words like mommy or daddy. Demonstrating interest in interactive play, they enjoy activities like rolling a ball back and forth. They engage in simple gestures and waving bye-bye, or using other movements like moving a finger or nodding their head to say no, lifting hands to indicate a desire to be picked up. And they follow your gaze. For instance, if you express surprise while looking at the window, and then your baby looks at you and then trying to identify what's caught your attention. When they face an unfamiliar object or situation, your baby looks at you for cues on how to react. For example, if a loud noise occurs suddenly, your baby turns to you to observe your reaction, then either remains calm or becomes upset following your lead. They pull up to stand and stand with support. They walk with support, such as holding onto furniture.
No.
In this video, the baby walks toward the bag, and when the word no is said, they return and sit on their mother's lap. At 12 months, baby demonstrates an understanding of the word no and reacts accordingly. And then this is another video.
Yay!
Once more, a 12-month-old baby discovers an object hidden under a blanket or a cover. So let's explore more of the developments your baby exhibits around the age of 15 months. They share something of interest with you, such as bringing a favorite toy or pointing an airplane. They attempt to mimic actions like placing ball in the basket, expressing affection. They hug or kiss you. They communicate their desires by pointing or vocalizing while looking at you, engaging in more sophisticated communication. They combine looking at you and an object with vocalization, gestures, and facial expression. For example, they might look at a new toy, then back at you with a smile and point the toy to express a desire or say its name in a coordinated communicative attempts. And they follow simple directions such as throw the ball, and they recognize family members and everyday objects. For example, when you ask where is daddy, they look at the daddy, or when prompted with where is the ball, they may bring the ball, and then they take a few independent steps while walking. In this video, observe how the child approaches and requests an object of interest using their index finger, maintaining eye contact, and looking at an adult in their vicinity. This is another video.
Leave a toy. Thank you.
They can follow direction given with both gesture and words. As you seen in this video, if you hold out your hand and say, give it to me, or give me that toy, they may hand you the toy. Alternatively, they may take something from your hand and place it somewhere when you ask for it. Exploring the development of babies in the first 18 months, we observe the following significant milestones in our baby's development. They look at something you point, such as a book, while you point it and name a picture from a book, and they actively participate in everyday tasks, like placing their hands under running water or lifting their arms to have t-shirts taken off. They can say at least 5 words, including mommy and daddy. They engage in simple conversation with you with at least 2 or 3 exchanges. For example, if you say, let's get dressed to go for a walk, they might reply with park. If you reaffirm, yes, we will go to the park, they may express excitement and perhaps saying shoe while looking at their shoes. And they play with simple toys like balls or cars or dolls, and they imitate you attempting activities like brushing hair with your brush, and they independently feed themselves finger food, and they walk with confidence. In this video, observe how the baby attempts to say 3 or more words beyond mommy or daddy. State an expression like hey, truck, sure. In this video, the baby actively participates in everyday tasks by brushing, mirroring mom's action as he brushes the room. So, after reviewing the first 18 months of life, we now talk about the importance of environment. The environment plays an important role in shaping babies' development, impacting their growth, learning, and overall well-being. This is achieved through nurturing relationship, responsive caregiving, and enriched environment. Building nurturing relationship with caregivers is vital for babies' emotional and social development. Nurturing relationship with caregivers creates a secure and trusting environment for the baby. Consistent responses with warmth, love, attentiveness foster a sense of safety and security. This secure attachment forms the foundation for healthy emotional development, self-esteem, and the ability to form positive relationship later in life. Nurture relationship support the baby's emotional regulation skills as well. Caregivers, through the sensitive responses, help the baby understand and manage their emotions effectively. Secure attachment creates a comfortable space for the baby to express emotions, fostering emotional intelligence and empathy. Nurture relationship plays an essential role in language and communication development. Positive and responsive communication from caregivers, including talking, singing, or reading, enhance language skills, vocabulary, and early literacy abilities. Nurturing relationship also provides opportunities for social interactions and bonding. Caregivers engage in play, turn-taking, and positive social interactions, fostering the baby's social skills and empathy. Through these experiences, babies learn to understand others' perspectives, develop social cues, and build healthy relationships with peers and caregivers. Nurture relationship in infancy has long-lasting effects on the child's development. Positive early interactions contribute to improve mental health, resilience, and overall well-being throughout childhood and into adulthood. Creating supportive and nurturing environment for the baby sets the stage for healthy development across various domains. Responsive caregiving is an essential aspect of providing optimal care for a baby, involving attentiveness to baby's needs, prompts, responses, and sensitive interaction. Responsive caregivers pay close attention to baby's cues and signals such as facial expression, body language, and sounds. Recognizing and understanding these cues help caregivers understand the baby's needs, whether it is hunger, discomfort, or the need for comfort and reassurance. For example, when the baby starts fussing and making sucking motion, the caregiver quickly recognizes hunger cues and promptly prepares a bottle for feeding. Also, responsive caregivers promptly respond to the baby's needs, providing comfort, care, and appropriate intervention. Addressing the baby's need in a timely manner creates a sense of security and trust, promoting healthy attachment and emotional well-being. For example, when the baby cries during diaper change, the caregivers respond promptly, providing comfort and talking smoothly and reinforcing a sense of security. Responsive caregiving also involves being emotionally available to the baby. Caregivers offer a nurturing and supportive presence, creating a safe space for the baby to express emotions and ensuring the baby feels seen, heard, and understood. For example, during playtime, the caregiver engages in joyful interactions, offering a loving presence and responding with laughter and smiles and fostering emotional availability. Responsive caregivers attend to both the baby's physical and emotional needs. This includes feeding, changing diaper, ensuring the comfortable environment, and providing opportunities for play and exploration. For example, beyond feeding and changing diapers, the caregivers engage in play, responding to baby's giggles and expression of joy and meeting emotional needs. Through responsive caregiving, caregivers help the baby develop a sense of trust in themselves and others and the world around them. Consistent responses to baby's needs after um, interaction foster a sense of security, promoting the development of independence and self-regulation skills. For example, when the baby crawls toward a new toy, the caregiver provides encouragement and support, reinforcing the baby's growing sense of independence and exploration. Enriched environments refers to settings that provide a wide range of stimulating experiences and opportunities for learning and development. We will now describe what this means in detail, but in simple words. Keep in mind that in real life, an enriched environment will look like a safe yet fun place where children can play with a wide variety of materials, toys, and read books, move around freely while having their basic needs met. Enriched environments offer a variety of sensory experiences engaging the baby's senses, including sights, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. Visual stimuli like colors and patterns, along with auditory stimuli like music and language, provide sensory stimulation. Tactile experiences through different textures, safe exploration, and age appropriate toys promote sensory development. For example, a colorful mobile hanging above the crib provide visual stimulation, while soft textured toys offer tactile experience during playtime. Again, enriched environments foster cognitive development by providing exploration, problem solving, and learning opportunities. Age appropriate toys, puzzles, and interactive activities stimulate the baby's curiosity and understanding of cause and effect. Providing a variety of stimuli and experience help develop attention, memory, and cognitive flexibility. For example, offering a shape sorting toys encourage the baby to explore shapes, promoting cognitive development and problem solving skills. Enriched environment supports language and communication development through exposure to rich language experiences. Caregivers engage in conversation, read books loudly, and sing a song, and provide language-rich interactions. These experiences help expand the baby's vocabulary, develop listening and speaking skills, and promote early literacy. For example, reading a colorful book and then together and enhance the language development as the caregiver narrates the story, pointing to different objects on the book. Enriched environments provide opportunities for positive social interactions with caregivers and peers. Playgroups, outings, and interaction with other children help babies learn social skills, turn taking, sharing, and cooperation. Engaging in social activities fosters the development of empathy, understanding of emotions, and ability to build relationship. For example, joining a playgroup allows the baby to interact with other children, promoting social skills and cooperation during shared playtime. And lastly, enriched environments prioritize safety while offering opportunities for physical exploration and movement. Creating a safe space for crawling, um, eventually walking, supports the baby's motor development and coordination. Providing age-appropriate toys, objects of varying textures, and stimulating play areas encourage refinement of physical activity and motor skills. For example, a padded play mat provides a safe area for the baby to crawl and explore, supporting both safety and physical development. Parents play a crucial role in supporting their child's happiness and overall well-being. They achieve that by offering emotional support and positive interaction and fostering resilience. Providing emotional support is important for the child's happiness, creating a safe and nurturing environment where the child feels loved, accepted, and understood. Parents can encourage emotional expression, actively listen to their child's feeling, and validate their emotion, showing empathy, offering comfort, and helping the child's development healthy coping mechanism contribute to the child's emotional well-being. For example, when a toddler is feeling frustrated because they cannot express themselves verbally, a parent can gently acknowledge their emotions, provide a comforting hug, and offer a favorite toy or activity, creating a supportive space for emotional expression. Positive interaction and quality time with parents contribute significantly to child's happiness as well. Engaging in activities that promote attachment, such as playing, reading, having conversation, helps build a strong parent-child relationship. Encouraging laughter, humor, shared experiences fosters joy and positive emotion in the child. For example, a parent and child sharing a playful moment with a board game, laughing together, and exchanging stories not only strengthens their attachment but also creates a positive and joyful atmosphere at home. Building resilience is essential for the child's happiness and ability to navigate challenges. Parents can support resilience by teaching problem-solving skills, encouraging independence, and providing opportunities for growth and learning, helping children develop a growth mindset where they view challenges as opportunities for learning and growth, enhance their resilience. For example, when their babies face difficult task, a parent can encourage them to break it down into smaller steps, fostering problem-solving skills and instilling a positive approach to challenges. Now, ensuring your child is developing healthily is a priority, and voicing potential concern is important. How you can do that? You can do that by monitoring milestones, spotting red flags, and identifying delays as early as possible. Observing and tracking the child's progress in key developmental areas such as motor skills, language, social emotional development, and cognition is fundamental. This process involves paying attention to the age-appropriate skills and behaviors, enabling parents, caregivers, and healthcare professionals to assess developmental trajectories and take action if needed. For example, regularly engage in activities that encourage your child's motor skills, such as playing with building blocks to enhance hand-eye coordination. If your child constantly struggles to achieve specific milestones, like having difficulty holding objects, or this may signal a need for further evaluation. Now let's talk about what the red flags are. When monitoring your child's development, it is important to be aware of potential warning signs or red flags that may indicate developmental concerns. Understanding these red flags and early signs can help identify infants at risk for autism and facilitate early intervention and support. These signs serve as important warning uh, signals for parents to seek professional evaluation and early intervention. We are providing a list here for red flags as identified in research: lack of progress, regression, persistent difficulties, social communication, motor behavior, restricted and repetitive behaviors, temperament, gastrointestinal symptoms, parental concerns. Watching for a lack of progress or show advancement in developmental milestones is important. And as we said many times during this presentation, if your child constantly lags significantly behind peers in motor skills, speech, language development, or social interaction, it may be a reason for concern. Any notable delays or significant plateau in development should prompt further assessment. For example, if your child is struggling to engage in age-appropriate play activities or show difficulty holding objects and does not seem to improve, this might be a red flag that needs further evaluation. Regression, characterized by a loss of previously acquired skills, demands attention. If your child starts losing mastered skill like language abilities, social engagement, or motor coordination, it could signify an underlying developmental concern. Children who later on receive an autism diagnosis might display language skills, but losing that ability to communicate around age 2. From my personal experiences, I remember working with a student whose parents had recorded videos of him pretending to say on the phone, "Hello, mommy, hello, daddy," and many times, and playing with the phone, and a skill that he had lost by age of 2.5 years when I started work with him. Taking persistent difficulties seriously, especially if they significantly impact your child's daily functioning, is also important in terms of red flags. These challenges may manifest in communication, social interaction, behavior, attention, or sensory progression. Seeking professional advice is essential if your child constantly struggles to meet age-appropriate expectations and showing ongoing difficulties affecting overall development. For example, if your child constantly struggles to maintain attention during the activities or plays, exhibit challenges in social interaction, this may also indicate persistent difficulties that warrant professional evaluation. We have one video now.
You put it in there? Good job. Yeah, I think it goes in another one. Try that one. Try that one. Try that one. That one. Try that one more time. Try that one again.
Mastering motor skills such as following an adult's instruction to place shapes into corresponding slots, it typically achieved at an early stage. However, in this video, a 3-year-old child still struggles to perform this task independently. We can observe how the child exhibits delay in motor skills, particularly evident when holding toys, and inability to follow prompts during the video. Now we talk about social communication, motor behaviors, and restricted and repetitive behaviors as red flags. Infants at high risk for autism may exhibit early challenges in social communication skills. Observing a high-risk infant who avoids eye contact may suggest a social communication deficit. For example, a child may struggle to follow caregiver's gaze or fail to respond appropriately to facial expression during social interactions. Or absence of responsiveness to their name being called can be observed as early as 9 months. To give an example, noticing that a 9-month-old baby does not react or turn towards their name being called may be indicative of potential concern. Infants with autism may exhibit lower rates of smiling, positive affect, and engagement of attention during interaction and playtime. Delays in use of gestures and slower growth in communication may also evident. For example, a child show delayed development in using gestures like waving or pointing, indicating challenges in coordinated communication. Infants with autism may also struggle with orienting to social context and exhibit less frequent and complex vocalization. Observing a child who avoids looking at people in social settings and has limited vocalization may suggest difficulties in social orientation. For instance, a child at 15 months may continue to exhibit challenges in making eye contact and displaying positive affect during interactions. Observing that a child struggles with basic motor skills such as crawling or grasping objects may indicate motor delays. Variation in visual motor integration and gross motor skills may also be apparent. A child might, for example, display difficulties in tasks requiring coordination between visual and motor skills, such as copying shapes or drawings, can be sign for us. Another thing is accelerated head circumference may be observed, but it may not effectively differentiate autism from developmental delays. In other words, a child with an accelerated head circumference may not necessarily indicate autism. This characteristic alone is not specific to the disorder, but we need to observe as well. Also, autism infants may exhibit a higher rate of failure in head tilt reflex tests compared to those with developmental delays. In this case, we should also seek a professional evaluation. Slow growth and reduced trajectory in occurring fine motor skills may also be observed. For example, a child who struggles with activities requiring fine motor skills such as picking up small objects or using utensil may indicate developmental challenges. Autism infants may frequently engage in repetitive behaviors, particularly motor stereotype. They might repeatedly engage in specific motor movements, such as hand flapping or body rocking, may suggest motor stereotype. In addition, higher frequency and varied topographies of repetitive behaviors and restrictive interests may be observed. For example, a child may display repetitive behaviors such as tapping objects or intensely focusing on specific topics or objects with unusual intensity. Imitation difficulties, especially in imitating meaningless movements, may be observed. These early signs and behaviors require careful observation and consideration, and any concern should prompt consultation with healthcare professional for further evaluation. This is another video.
Hi, Lucas.
Hello,
Say hello. Say hi, Georgia.
Hi, Lola.
Give me a hug. Come here. Come here. I gotta tell you something. Hi. Give me a big hug. Oh. How are you?
Hi.
Say, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Good. That's very good. Are you playing?
I'm fine.
Oh, it's cold, look. Ooh.
In this video, the child exclusively repeats phrases without initiating eye contact or participating in typical communication routines. So this behavior, this behavior is what we typically call echolalia. He's showing lots of echolalia behavior. Distinct temperament patterns are noted in infants at high risk for autism, including lower activity levels, heightened adaptability, and increased approachability when compared to those at high risk without autism. For instance, a high-risk autism infant may display a decreased trajectory in adaptability and approachability over time. Children diagnosed with autism often experience a higher occurrence of gastrointestinal symptoms in comparison to their peers with other developmental delays or typically developing children. A prospective study indicates an elevated likelihood of observing gastrointestinal symptoms in infants later diagnosed with autism. The term gastrointestinal pertains to the digestive system, including the stomach and intestines. Gastrointestinal symptoms encompass various issues or discomfort related to the digestive tract, such as abdominal pain, constipation, diarrhea, or other digestive problems. In the context of infants and autism, this implies that children with autism may encounter more frequent or noticeable challenges related to their digestive systems compared to their peers without autism. Parents of infants later diagnosed with autism often express higher rates of developmental concern, with sensory and motor issues being constantly distinguished the autism group. Parents commonly report sleep and motor concerns in the first year, while communication and challenging behavior become a concern in the second year. Concerns related to imitation, sensory perception, communication, social interaction, play, and challenging behavior serve as distinguishing factors between autism and other groups. Examining the table detailed when parents report concern about their child's development reveals specific milestones. For example, deficits in communication skills are reported around 7 months. The child's lack of responses to their name at 9 months. Significant delays in using gestures at approximately 13 and 15 months, and reduced eye contact at 15 months. Concerns about motor and motor skills surface at 6 months and 12 months, and imitation skills at 12 months again. So I'm going to give a real life example from my experience again that underscores the importance of parental observation. My student, although the child received an autism diagnosis at the age of 4, the mother noticed specific behaviors indicative of autism when the child was as young as 6 months. The child constantly placed a particular toy in her mouth and rocked back and forth repeatedly. Despite visiting a doctor when the child was 2 due to the not walking, the autism diagnosis was not initially detected. This case emphasizes the significance of listening to families who have already identified developmental delays in their children and closely attending to their concerns. We have another video to show.
All right, Justin, we gotta put your jacket on, okay? We gotta go. Let's go, Joe. Come here. Come on, we gotta get ready. The bus is gonna come. We gotta go in front of the house. Come on. Okay, honey, let's go. Come on. You wanna go? All right, that's it. We have to turn it off. Say bye. Bye, television. Talk to you later. Yes, it's a pizza.
1/2.
1/4, yeah. Okay, bye.
Socrates! 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 Socrates!
Joseph?
Yeah, Socrates! Socrates!
Okay. Leave him alone. I'll take care of it.
What? Socrates? You want to turn me on, PBS Kids?
You know what?
You want to turn me on the TV?
When you
Turn
come
on
home.
the TV! Socrates!
Here's some tissue for your nose.
Socrates!
Let me. Cyber chase too. Who wants cyber chase? All right. Okay, Joseph, look at mom. What did I say about screen? What did I say about screen?
As evident in this video, individuals in the depicted scenario may encounter challenges during minor transitions and changes, such as transition between daily routines and school activities, as well as during activities like haircuts and doctor visits. Finally, let's talk about the importance of early diagnosis. Recognizing potential developmental delays and expressing a concern at the early stage, known as early identification, is also very important to take early steps for autism. This involves being proactive, attentive, and knowledgeable about the typical milestones and behaviors expected for a child's age. Early identification facilitates timely intervention and support. Research indicates that early intervention, starting during critical developmental periods, can lead to better outcomes and improved functioning in children. Pre-diagnosis markers for autism spectrum disorder emerge between 2 and 18 months with increased reliability closer to the 12 months. These early markers include atypical social communication, decreased eye contact, variation in temperament, and delayed motor skills. Restricted and repetitive behaviors are commonly observed at the later stage, intensifying around 2 years. To aid in early detection and intervention, various screening tools have been employed, such as a modified checklist for autism in toddlers, the autism observation scales for infants, or the infants toddlers checklist. These tools assess different domains of development, such as social communication, behavior, and cognitive abilities to identify potential red flags for autism in young children. However, very few tools focus specifically on the first year of life. Parent-mediated intervention have been shown to be effective in boosting the development of infants and toddlers at a high risk of autism. Naturalistic developmental behavioral interventions are built following natural development and a child's motivation and can be delivered by parents and coached by a behavior analyst. Naturalistic developmental behavioral intervention focus on training topics like increasing eye gaze, requesting by using gestures, following directions, and play skills. So what they do if they have any concerns? It is common for parents to feel some concerns about their child's development. Openly communicating with professionals, seeking support, and having access to resources are key factors in addressing and revealing these concerns. Encouraging an environment that supports open communication is important for parents and caregivers to freely share thoughts and concern about their child's development. Creating a safe and non-judgmental space is essential, where parents feel comfortable expressing worries, observation, and ask questions. Active listening and empathy play integral roles in better understanding and validating the concern expressed by parents. Professionals who empathetically listen to and act upon parental concerns can best support parents and their children. For instance, during a pediatrician health check at the age of 9 months, the doctor creates an open space for a parent to share any concerns they have about their children's progress, facilitating a productive and supportive dialogue. Supporting parents who express concerns about their child's development is an empowering step towards taking proactive measures and accessing necessary sources for their child's well-being. For instance, offering emotional support and reassuring can reduce parental anxiety, letting them know that seeking information and assistance is a normal and proactive approach to supporting their child. When seeking professional advice, it is important to consult with the child's pediatricians. These healthcare providers can offer guidance, conduct developmental screening, and refer parents to appropriate expert if necessary. Early identification service and assessment can then identify specific areas of concern, providing tailored support for the child's unique needs. Additionally, when seeking professional assessment, reaching out to child's pediatrician or healthcare provider is also vital. These professionals can conduct developmental screening or refer parents to other experts like developmental pediatricians, psychologists, therapists, or early intervention specialists for further evaluation. Early intervention services become instrumental in providing targeted support and intervention to address specific developmental concerns identified through the assessment process. Ensuring access to appropriate resources empowers parents by providing reliable information, professional guidance, and community support to effectively address concerns about their child's development. For instance, empowering parents with information involves sharing reliable sources about child's development, developmental milestones, and potential red flags. This could include recommending reputable websites, books, or articles that offer valuable insights and guidance. Connecting parents to appropriate resources involves providing access to professionals like pediatricians, developmental specialists, and early intervention services. For example, if a parent expresses concern about their child's speech development, connecting them with a speech therapist could be a valuable resources. Additionally, fostering community support can be achieved by recommending parent support group where individuals facing similar challenges can share experiences and insights. This also creates a supportive network such as local parenting groups or an online forum or where parents can find understanding and encouragement. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm sharing our references we used during the presentation today.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
As we are waiting for questions that people might have, I wanted to say that very soon we will hold a webinar related to some of the research that we have done at the center. Some of this research has been conducted by our doctoral students. And so very soon we will offer a free webinar on very early life behavior analytic coaching for parents who have infants with potential signs of autism, or parents with babies around 1 year of age, maybe 9 months, really young, who for some reason are at the high likelihood of having autism. So please keep an eye on our news on the Center for Behavior Analysis webpage, where we post information on upcoming events, and on our social media channels.
And I'm also sharing our survey link. Dr. Donavi and me, we are conducting a cross-cultural survey capturing parental wishes, preferences, and needs around autism genetic testing. So we are sharing the link in the chat. If you share with your networks, and we can reach more families and more
Yes, so this project that Meryl is talking about, and she has just shared the link through the chat there, is a project through which we want to find out what parents think, how parents feel about very early life screening for autism, and it's focused on genetic testing specifically. So we are very, very much interested in finding out what parents think. And so if you are a parent, it shouldn't take more than 10 to 15 minutes for you to complete. It's an anonymous survey. If you are a professional, maybe you want to share the link with families that you're supporting, so that we get to hear from as many families as we can. So I'm seeing a few questions coming through. So somebody that is asking, Bethany, is there research on why the prevalence of autism is higher in the US? I think that from what we know so far, the prevalence of autism is not necessarily higher in the US than in the rest of the world. I would say that in the US, there's higher awareness. So people are more informed, professionals are more informed. So colleagues in the US, pediatricians, psychologists, multidisciplinary teams, professionals who support families are able to pick up autism earlier. And so a diagnosis, well, earlier, around the same age that it is diagnosed in Europe, which is not very early. It's between 3.5 years and 4 years of age. So it is not very early, but earlier than in other parts of the world. And also there is a higher awareness on autism in general. So differential diagnosis, or being able to identify some children who have autism and making sure that they have the correct diagnosis is probably why data come through as higher in the US than in other countries of the world. So it's not that there is a difference between the US and the rest of the world, at least as far as we know from the data that we have from research so far. There has been an increase, of course, a very significant increase. As Meryl said at the beginning of the presentation, at the moment, we know that 1 in every 36 children at the age of 8 years, they will receive a diagnosis of autism. So it has gone up more than 10 times compared to data 20 and 30 years ago. But that's again across the world. It's not specific to the US, but in the US, there is a more reliable system of diagnosis and monitoring. So, okay, that's the first question answered. Carol is asking us to give some concrete examples of what parents can do if they have concerns. Yes, so thank you, Carola, for this question. I'm sure many people attending the webinar are wondering the same. So as I said at the beginning, that would depend on which country you are based in. So if we take the example of a family, I know today we have people from, I was checking earlier, Ecuador, Mexico, the US, Australia, South Africa, and Europe. And so it varies greatly from what happens in the US. There's a big difference between the US and the reality in other countries. But if I can give a concrete example, say for instance that the parent has concerns and they are based in Canada or they're based in Spain. And so our advice would be, as a first step, contact your healthcare provider, so whoever is following your child within your health system. If we're talking about infants around the age of 1 year, then in Canada, it would most likely be a pediatrician. So contact the professional that is your assigned healthcare provider, let's say. In Spain, you would have to talk to your family doctor through the public system and get an initial assessment. And because those assessments, more often than not, unfortunately take a very long time, during the course of that assessment and during the time that it takes for those professionals to come back to you to offer you an appointment for an initial assessment, and then maybe offer you a follow-up appointment and 3 months later on, or contact a behavior analyst who is specialized in working with children with autism, and specifically infants or toddlers, so very, very young children with autism, and get some coaching yourself as a parent, get some advice on how you can convert your everyday routines, your playtime, your feeding time, even your sleep routines, your bath time, how you can make those moments in your everyday life more meaningful, how you can create opportunities for your baby to engage with you more, and to help them develop, or how to facilitate their development. For example, how to start teaching them how to communicate with you, or start using their first gestures, how you can teach them or facilitate them learning how to follow a story that you might be telling them, or how to follow a toy that you're playing with and you want to share with them, and so on. So first piece of advice, contact your health professional. In parallel, to make sure you don't miss crucial time at this age is key. And we know that the earlier you put support in place, the best outcomes your child will have. So don't lose time. Start with a behavior analyst, getting some support in place. And also, if you are not, let's say, satisfied, or if you still feel concerned by the response that you receive by a health professional, if you don't feel that you're fully supported or understood, get a second opinion. Awareness around very early life signs of autism is not at the same level, depending on which country you live in and which professional you contact. So try and find somebody, a professional who has some experience around very early life child development, and specifically early detection of autism. I hope that's helpful for people. But then, as I said, you need to adjust your action to the place where you live. And so, for example, in the UK, there's the UK Society for Behavior Analysis. There's a registry of certified behavior analysts. You can find somebody on their websites. In the US and Canada, you can go on the BACB website, so the Behavior Analyst Certification Board website, and you can find certified behavior analysts there. So then, depending on the country where you live in, you might be able to find someone, again, on the BACB website. And nowadays, there is also a lot of support offered through telehealth, so remotely. So if in the country where you are based in, there's nobody specialized in very early child development and early life signs of autism and how to support parents, then maybe get somebody who speaks your language from another country who can support you online. So I see people are putting many helpful comments in the chat. Let me go back to questions. So there is a comment. I have been in the field of behavior analysis for 35 years and still find that when parents approach physicians with concerns, they are told just to wait. There continues to be a great hesitation to diagnose autism before age 3, and you're working with the medical field to change this problem. And you are, Karen, that's spot on. And I think that's our experience as well. That's why I insist on, if a parent, parents shouldn't lose time waiting for an assessment. And at the same time, even if an assessment starts, but there's no clear response, or there's hesitation because you're told that it's too early, just wait and see, and feel confident that the wait and see approach is not the best approach, and get in contact with a behavior analyst specialized in very early life development to get some support in place. So I see some people say they're looking forward to our future webinar on very early life parent coaching. So just what I'm discussing. So as I said, in a couple of months, we hope not very far in the future, we hope that soon we will be able to offer that webinar. So you will, yes, thank you for this last question. Today's video will be available for free for you to watch again and again as many times as you need.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to share it with your colleagues, with other families. The reason why we are holding these events in different languages and also online, not just on site, because we want to reach as many families as we can. So feel free to share this video with anybody that you feel might benefit from watching it. The video includes the presentation, and it will include the last slide with the references, of course. And if you need more information, if you want to read more, do not hesitate to send us an email, and we will be more than happy to send you resources back or further reads, etc. Equally, if you're interested in the research we do, if you want to do research with us, or if you're a doctoral student or a professional, we would be delighted to hear from you as well. So very happy to take questions from parents or professionals, or to share more resources with you if you feel you need something additional after today's webinar is finished. We do not have any more questions. So people are sharing resources, which is excellent. So I'm seeing a systematic review of the global prevalence of autism. So thank you very much for sharing that with the audience, Francesca. Okay, how can you get the link of the upcoming webinar? So if you, let me just put one more time here, the Center for Behavior Analysis webpage. So Queen's University Belfast, Center for Behavior Analysis, there's our website. And so if you go into events or news, you will be able to see all future events. And then under resources, you can see past events, and that's where today's video will be hosted. You can also follow us on Facebook. There is a Center for Behavior Analysis Facebook page. So if you use Facebook, you're welcome to follow us there, and we will publish the details of that webinar whenever we have a fixed date. Okay, so maybe Meryl, you want to put the link to our survey on parental news one more time? Actually, I can do that. Okay, there it goes. So just a last reminder about this anonymous survey on parental use of very early life screening for autism. Thank you very much for being here today. We hope you have enjoyed this webinar and you have learned things that you can use in your family or your everyday practice. We look forward to seeing you again in our following webinar, which will be delivered in January. There is a Center for Behavior Analysis webinar series. So there is one seminar approximately every 4 to 6 weeks. And we also look forward to seeing you in our future webinar that I mentioned, focusing on coaching parents on ABA for babies. So everyone, have a good day or a good night.
Have a good day. Thank you so much.
And see you soon. Thank you, Meryl.
See you. Thank
Bye.
you.